Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Funny Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Today, we are talking about the ToothTrap and why it's probably one of the best items in Don't Starve Together if you are deciding that you want to start a brawl between you and pretty much anything that comes across your path. Now, of course, it's not necessarily a weapon, meaning you can't hold it in your hand and attack with it, but you can use it for multiple different scenarios. So, if you finally have crafted a ToothTrap, which of course will require some science, you're going to make sure that you of course make one if you only absolutely need one. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it only requires one log, which is literally nothing at all, one rope, which is just grass and nothing at all, and one houndstooth. So if you finally acquired a houndstooth, I would highly recommend making this. Now, when you finally make an actual ToothTrap, you know you're going to get 10 uses out of it and 60 damage per. So what does that mean when you finally place it down? Well, if you decide to place it down for some odd reason, when you walk over it, nothing is going to happen. However, if, for example, mobs, specifically hounds, decide to come and attack you, so let's just imagine that the hounds decide to attack you like they normally do on day 6 or whatever else, other days they decide to attack you on. So let's go ahead and spawn in a hound. The hound spawns in and decides to come running after you. Of course, when it does, you take it through the ToothTrap, which is exactly what was just used by making its tiny little tooth into a ToothTrap. It hits the trap and causes it to obviously reset, thus making it so you have to go back and reset it. Of course, during the hound attack, you're probably not going to go and do that, but of course, if you decided to, you could go ahead and kill the hound, and voila, it will happen. Probably suggest you don't do it the way that I did it, but of course, the more hound traps, or tooth traps, I'd like to call them hound traps or tooth traps, but honestly, the more you have and the more you end up getting, you can actually go through the process of making a ToothTrap area. So now the next time the hounds decide to show up, specifically one hound or multiple hounds, doesn't matter, you are slowly building on your ToothTrap setup. I've made a little tiny guide on this, so of course, this is just the follow-up guide explaining why ToothTraps are amazing and the ToothTrap guide, and voila, you're going to see this hound die in a matter of seconds after it decides to keep attacking me, but now it's just standing there barking, and it should do it. And don't feel bad if you obviously have it where it does this, where it keeps running through. You can move the traps even closer, but of course using different types of mods will let you move them even closer together. I just am using geometric placement, so that helps me put them in a pattern that better suits me. Now, the bonus about this is the more you keep getting more hounds to, of course, attack you, or you find more more hounds, you can go and get more hound's teeth, which will then convert them into further making more tooth traps. And especially with the new ability where you can convert, I think, is it Wilson that can do it, where you can take bone shards and craft them into teeth. Well, there you go. You're now able to make oodles and oodles and oodles amounts of tooth traps. And trust me, over the course of Don't Starve Together, within probably about day 60 to 100, you'll probably accumulate enough teeth to make quite a few tooth traps. So I would really suggest not making these near your base. Almost make a tiny little area where you can have a tooth trap zone, so that way when you have mobs attack you, it's not so tough to get them through your actual tooth trap. And once again, when you walk over them, you are completely fine. So yes, tooth traps are one of the best, if not the best, items in Don't Starve Together when it comes to actually killing some mobs. Now, some of you might say that's a huge waste, but it's not. It only requires a little bit of grass, a little bit of logs, and of course one teeth, which as of right now, you're only going to be using periodically on some other items, so why not use it on that? Anyways, thanks again for watching. Tooth traps are awesome. I'll see you in the next one.